The light is very bright, but it's fine. Good evening, everybody. It is a pleasure to see so many people here who have come to our new office, which we're officially opening today. Actually, the second office in Dar es Salaam. We have another office at Baines Avenue. This is a smaller one, but next to our friends from Cafe Coffee again. So we're following where Cafe Coffee is going. Thank you for coming. It's a pleasure to see you all. I hope you all have something to drink. Some food will also be served soon. And so we have a very exciting evening in front of us with a fantastic panel coming on stage right now, discussing about opportunities in real estate which are driven by tourism. And we also have a very, very special product launch this evening here, right after the panel discussion, so stay tuned. Don't leave in between. You need to wait for that product launch for sure. So, with no further delay, let me welcome our panelists for this evening, and starting with Miranda Naiman, the founding partner of Empower Limited, also sitting in the board of CRDB. Miranda, thank you for joining us this evening. Thank you for moderating this exciting panel. And I'm handing over to you to welcome your panelists.
Thank you very much, Tobias. Good evening, everyone. Habari za jioni. Mbona umepoa sana? A warm welcome to this wonderful event. We're here to talk about growth and opportunity, real estate, and specifically in Zanzibar this evening. So I'm absolutely delighted to bring out my 4 panelists. I will introduce them to you once they get to the stage. Panelists, come on out. Can we put our hands together? They're dedicating their time to share with us insightful knowledge. Panelists, please come through to the stage. And I will introduce you one by one. Please come on up to the stage, come round so that we don't trip over anything. Karibuni sana. And let's take a seat. I think each person has a mic. Graham, welcome. Okay, so with me this evening on the stage, I'll start from the far end. We have with us Abdulrahman Said. He's the managing partner of Bankable. Next to him, we have Sebastian Dietzold. I think it's a face that you have seen around, the CEO of CPS, the visionary and founder. Next to him, we have Dr. Fred Msemwa. He is the managing director at Watumishi Housing, and he also has a background in tourism, having worked at the National College of Tourism, and we serve together on the CRDB board. Karibu sana, Director Fred. And last but certainly not least, we have with us Graham Leslie. He's the executive chairman of the Hotel Association in Zanzibar. Not something small, there are many hotels there, a big job, but his day job is also as the president of Conservation Capital, where he's also the founder. A warm welcome to all the gentlemen on the stage. I wish we had a lady as well, but I will have to represent. So let's kick off our discussion. So let me start off by asking the audience, did you know that Zanzibar has just been named the top tourist destination in Africa? Did you know that? More popular than Mount Kilimanjaro, more popular than Cape Town, more popular than Masai Mara, Poleni Kenyans. So with this in mind and all focus on Zanzibar, we're seeing a lot of opportunity. As we see growth, the economy is growing at about 7%. And of course, with opportunity comes investment. So today's discussion is going to be focused on how we can tap into these investment opportunities and what we see ongoing in the economy, particularly in Zanzibar. So I'm going to start off with Sebastian. As the host, I'm going to give you the first question. So Sebastian, my first question to you will be, what key areas in real estate, could be on mainland as well as in Zanzibar, can people tap into to capture and add value in the real estate industry?
Yes, thank you, Miranda, for this question. Of course, there's 2 major markets we have in Tanzania, and in Zanzibar it's quite similar. The first segment is, of course, the massive housing backlog, the housing demand. We have a fast-growing population. Tanzania and Zanzibar have fast-growing economies. And we have unfortunately I have to say, still just very few developers, right? The biggest developers being Watumishi Housing and National Housing and small developers like CPS. We need a lot of developers to come in the market. The numbers are different. I know in entire Africa around 56 million homes are needed today. Tanzania, there's numbers like 3 million backlog, 200,000 per year, 300,000 per year. It is a lot. That's what we can say. So there's a huge demand for housing. But of course, the housing demand that we have in Tanzania in different locations is different. So we have to see what are we building, what can people actually afford, right? So there's a huge housing demand from the growing population. And of course, there's a big demand in Zanzibar, especially for holiday homes, right? So there's a huge market, you know, in economies like Mauritius, Seychelles, they have a huge condo market that has to be established. It is growing extremely fast in Zanzibar already now. So there's a huge opportunity for holiday homes. And Miranda, the third market is, and we had it in the news yesterday, working on the diaspora. I think laws coming in place, allowing the diaspora around the world. Diaspora Tanzanians born in Tanzania, carrying a passport that is not Tanzanian anymore, want to have a home back home. We've been in the US, we've been in Muscat, we've been in all these places. There's a strong demand of diaspora around the world. Especially, they want to have something where they could retire. They want to retire back home. They don't want to retire in Norway, right? They want to retire in Dar. They want to retire in Arusha, in Tanga, in Moshi, right? When I checked in yesterday in Muscat, the lady who's checking me in was from Tanga. I would love to buy a home back in Tanga, right? So it's a huge opportunity in the real estate in Tanzania and Zanzibar.
And I believe in 2022, there are over 320,000 tourists that landed in Zanzibar. So we're seeing a huge opportunity, and I'm seeing those numbers grow as well. I'm going to move to Abdul for a moment. There was something that you touched on there about investing in holiday homes, so a second home. Let's talk about financing. For those that might be interested, can you just give us the lay of the land? What financing options are available that you are aware of from Bankable's perspective?
Clearly, I'm not used to mics. Thanks, Miranda, for the question. So if you look at Tanzania, the obvious financing option that comes to mind is mortgage, right? But you would see that for many people who've actually built houses have not really accessed the mortgage market for many reasons. But most of the buyers will actually go for personal borrowing. They'll go to banks to get personal borrowing and actually use that financing to build houses. And very few of them know about mortgage products. Very few of them actually have access to financing for various reasons. So if you look at Tanzania, I think the obvious and the most beneficial product that one can go for is mortgage. I think the question does come around that, why not many Tanzanians are using mortgage financing? And I think, there's a question to answer there at some point. But to your point, Miranda, I think mortgage financing is one powerful product for many to use.
Thank you, Abdul. I'm going to jump to Graham now, just to follow on and dovetail on what you shared there. Obviously, I mentioned a statistic a moment ago about the number of tourists in Zanzibar, and as the lead within the Hotel Association in Zanzibar, can you just paint a picture for us on what the landscape is like within the hotels, but also around investment in Zanzibar? What can you share with our audience today?
Thank you. Thank you, Miranda. Hello? Yep. Good evening, all. Thanks, Miranda. So actually, Miranda's statistic of 380,000 is wrong. It's 584,000. So the number of visitors last year is the highest in Zanzibar's history. And actually, in world terms, it's in the top 10 of growth of visitors post-COVID. So that's an unbelievable statistic, given that actually Zanzibar still doesn't really benefit from any proactive promotion or marketing or distribution in that sense. So it's growing fast, that's absolutely true. It's getting much stronger on its rates, but it's still a young market. So if you look at the number of accommodation in hotels, only in the last 6 years has 75% of the room stock been added. So this is a phenomenal change. And only in the last 4 years in the 4-star and 5-star market. So the shift of Zanzibar, both from a government decree perspective is to move toward a higher yield, less impact, because it is an island and it is fragile with its resources. You mentioned about Zanzibar winning the award for best place in Africa to visit. That's true, because obviously its culture, its heritage, and actually Tanzania's best safari destination. But also TripAdvisor and Condé Nast place Zanzibar as one of the top 20 places that people should visit in 2023. So all of those are obviously very positive trends. The obvious benefits from the assets of people, nature, etc. are phenomenal. So it's going fast, but there are a lot of issues with that growth that we have to be mindful of as well, which I'll answer later.
Absolutely. I'm glad that I undersold the numbers there. Could have been the other way. But I'm going to come to you, Dr. Fred. You have a very unique vantage point because you've been in the tourism sector, but also in real estate development and banking. You have a viewpoint there. And I'm just wondering what you can share from Utumishi's angle, how you are developing the real estate sector, but how smaller players like CPS are also contributing to the ecosystem in Tanzania, and in particular Zanzibar.
Thank you very much for this very interesting question. When we look at tourism, we are looking at it as a business and on how it links with real estate. And if we are to look at the context in Tanzania, and we go ahead by dissecting tourism into its 5 components for simplicity. I call them 5 A's of tourism, because at any point up in the supply chain, starting with the attractions, tourism attractions, and then accompanied by tourism activity, and then the access to tourism attractions, which is served by a network of transport systems, marine, air, and even land transport. And then comes accommodation. All these do attract people. They attract tourists, and then you have the people who are coming to serve. You have people who are coming to serve tourists. And this is a point where tourism meets real estate. Because when you talk of the amenities and all the infrastructure which is to be developed, you need people to serve the entire supply chain. And by doing so, you need accommodation to house both tourists as well as the employees who are working in the tourism sector. So in terms of how developers are trying to align their services in response to the growth in the tourism sector, we can see developers such as CPS and even other smaller developers in Zanzibar and Tanzania are trying to align their housing projects to develop them in a manner that can tap the opportunities which are coming in the sector. We have seen in recent years that Zanzibar has witnessed a bigger number of people coming, and therefore that has pushed a lot of people working in Zanzibar, and therefore creating housing demand automatically, which is now being addressed by CPS. The same for Tanzanian market. While Zanzibar is enjoying a boom in terms of numbers, the spillover is coming on this side as well, and therefore we are also seeing a vibrancy in the sector, and Dar es Salaam is the first to feel that impact, and as I speak, we are already seeing an increase in the demand for housing, particularly housing which cater for smaller families, which are coming for shorter holidays or even longer holidays. So I would say that real estate is a key sector that links directly with tourism. And what we are seeing now in the market is the increasing trend, and we are likely to see an even bigger space at which it will be growing, which point to the fact that in the near future, these two sectors will be bringing a very big contribution to the economy, and therefore the economic linkages, backward and forward linkages, will be even more felt across the population.
I like how you talk about that interface between tourism and real estate. And you talked about attractions, activity, and access. And before I come back to you, Sebastian, just want a show of hands in the audience. How many of you have been to Fumba Town? Can you raise your hand? Can you keep your hand in the air if you own a property at Fumba Town? We need more hands. So I don't want to spoil the surprise. We will come back to that later on. But Sebastian, I want you to talk us through, for those that are in the audience that have never visited Fumba Town or the Soul, what does this project look like? What can somebody find there with regards to attractions, activity, and access? How are you bridging this gap? And what is some of the return on investment somebody could expect to get if they were to invest today?
Yes, thank you, Miranda, for the question. And there's a lot. I mean, the two different projects, we have the residential resort, which is the first residential resort in Zanzibar, the Soul, which is now fully sold out. In Paje, one of the fastest growing tourism locations in Zanzibar now, next to Nungvi and other places. The southeast coast is growing extremely fast. And then you have Fumba Town, right? So returns of investment are very strong in Zanzibar. It's very hard for us always as developers to predict exactly how much you're going to earn, even though everybody wants to exactly know, right? What I can tell you is in terms of real estate in Tanzania, and we looked at back since the 70s, how have prices developed in Nairobi, how have prices developed in Dar es Salaam to get some substance into this development. What we've seen is that you have a typically appreciation of 10% per year, right? In average throughout the time. And of course Fumba at the moment is out of the scale and the solo, right? We're appreciating there with 30, 40, 50%. I've met clients here today, Furaha and others, they bought their properties already 3 times more value. So it's 300% growth in a very short time. That is now happening in Zanzibar and will surely happen with what we're going to launch later today, but this is not the norm, right? So I think the norm is a growth in real estate of 10. And then if you have a product that is also accommodating for tourism market, and we're working with the government in Zanzibar to also formalize holiday homes and Airbnb business, because they should also contribute to the tax collection of the country, that of course are enormous returns. So if you buy an apartment and you can rent this out short term, even on a 30-40% occupancy, you're looking at returns far beyond 20% per year. On top of the 10%, you're making an appreciation, right? So there is a huge opportunity for holiday homes in Zanzibar, which is very attractive. But I think it's very important as an investor to also see what is my long-term secure return, and that is real estate around 10%. And of course, the attractions in Zanzibar are growing with the day, right? I know there's a lot of the heritage sites that are being renovated right now. We have Stone Town, we have a beautiful coastline, we have the beaches, we have the diving, we have the islands that are being developed now. A lot is happening. Pemba as one of the pearl that is basically still undiscovered and, you know, has a lot of potential. So actually my message today, and I know that's not exactly a question, every Tanzanian that has the opportunity, you have to get at least a small place in Zanzibar. It's outside your doorstep. It's just there. And you are Tanzanian, your country, get a small land, even a studio, a small apartment, something in Zanzibar. It will be absolutely worthwhile. And let's own the island as Tanzanians before others come in strong. And the market is strong, right?
Message received, I think. Thank you, Sebastian. The numbers that you've shared, I don't know, Abdul, if you agree with me, they sound bankable. Like, they sound like good numbers to me. So I'm curious, you know, as we were growing up, investing in property was probably something that our parents would say, you must invest in property. It's the one secure asset. What are your views on this? How are you advising clients? And what are some more opportunities around real estate investment on the island that you can share?
I mean, in reality, to just echo Sebastian's words, you know, bankable, sitting in the financial services, we've actually never received, the number of financing requests to actually finance projects in Zanzibar like right now. It's actually crazy and mind-blowing. You're talking not just from outside, usually you actually get these requests from Europe, but right now actually these requests are even coming from neighboring countries where you have real estate developers and hoteliers wanting to do something in Zanzibar. And literally, probably I think 2 days ago, we actually got a request from Kenya for people wanting to develop real estate in Zanzibar, which is great. So the more comes in, the more options are there. But I think more importantly, makes it affordable for a lot of Tanzanians who want to actually invest into Zanzibar. To your point, I think when it comes to real estate investment, I think for any investor, it's all about looking what exactly your investment objectives are. And if you speak about currently right now in Tanzania, if you look at the different asset classes available, you look at the stock market, the stock market is down. Taking into account where the inflation rate is, about 5.4%. You look at the foreign exchange risk, which is there. The best thing to do right now is actually to look at real estate. The reason for that is you actually get capital appreciation and actually a long-term protection. To Sebastian's point, if you think about waiting now versus coming 5 years from today, where the prices are going to be, most likely the capital appreciation for 5 years from today will not be less than 20%. Now, take into account where the inflation is, take into account the currency depreciation, the best time to come in is right now because that actually protects you against foreign currency depreciation. So I think the investment objectives, Miranda, are quite important, but if you have money to invest right now, I will actually encourage you to deliberately look into real estate investment and see what kind of returns you're going to get. And I think Zanzibar offers that because, you have the tourism sector, and the advantage Zanzibar has that, you have not just Zanzibaris or Tanzanians who can buy, so non-East Africans and non-Tanzanians, so foreigners from all over the world. I think that actually gives you more option to actually, if you want to rent your house or if in the next few years you want to sell your house, you get more of those options. So I think from a real estate investment point of view, there's something to actually think about. Thanks, Miranda.
I hope we're looking at both sides. I'm hearing good news all round, and I know that buyers these days are becoming more environmentally aware. Sustainability is the name of the game. So Graham, I'm wondering if you could speak to some of the environmental impact and how projects like Fumba Town have addressed this.
Thank you, Miranda. So we've heard, I think, from everybody about the growth. That is absolutely real. The property values are definitely going to be increasing year on year and exponentially, not just in the private real estate and residential area, but in land generally across everything that is driven by tourism. So one of the things that's important to realize is that tourism actually in Zanzibar isn't just critical, it is actually fundamental. So the stats that you get from the authorities would be 29.2% last year direct tourism GDP. In fact, it's over 65% if you take the real estate market and you take all of the direct and induced impact businesses that are affected by it. So in that context, it's a very, very, very crucial area for the Treasury, of course, but also for job creation. It's the biggest employer, and it's the biggest, talking about sustainability, consumer of the power grid. So over 65% of all of the power that's consumed in Zanzibar is actually from the hotels and residential properties. So this is a monumental issue that we as the hotel industry need to be much more mindful of, because it is a grid that has now, having said that, made the government look at the critical areas to start to look at that from a green and from other hybrid initiatives and powers. So at this moment in time, from a sustainability perspective, because of the issues on power, because of the issues on water, because hotels also consume actually over 70% of the island's whole water annually, and sanitation and sewage and infrastructure and all of the other elements that go into what makes up tourism, because as you said, tourism is also bigger than just the 5 A's, but you're right, it affects everything. And even the hotels, 88% of its daily consumables are actually imported. and yet we have 78.6% unemployment in some of the rural communities under 30. So these things are fixable, and we're working now with the Hotel Association, with the agriculture, with the farming, with the blue economy. We've been involved in the formation of the Blue Economy Corridor. In fact, this week or the beginning of next week, Zanzibar Ministry will announce the whole conservation corridor that protects not only corals and mangroves, that's from the north all the way around into Member and into Mecca, etc. These are also about job creation for the coastal communities. It's about creating much stronger marine aquaculture and programs that link with that, and that will be linked into the hotels. So this is a good example of private sector working with the government. Government have actually excellent legislation in Zanzibar. Some of the biggest problems has been the governance of that. So I think the private partnership working at the moment, that will be announced. First one was announced last month actually with And Beyond and Member Island, which is the first time that's happened actually in the history of Zanzibar, actually outside of Kenya, the whole of East Africa. So this week there'll be another one with regards to terrestrial, forest, mangrove, and critically in all of that, the communities of the coast, that's critical. So that is, I would say, the sustainability of the future. And so the timing for acquiring is actually now, because it's also a government focus. The government understand more now about all these disparate parts and what needs to be brought together moving forward in a sustainable and growing economic perspective.
Thank you for sharing that. And I know from having visited Fumba Town myself that permaculture is a big part of the development there.
Sorry, I have to add.
Yes,
sorry,
please.
I'm sorry.
Go for it.
Because you actually added, and I forgot in my excitement and passion. And what benefit has CPS? How much did you pay me, Sebastian?
Not enough, I think.
Not enough.
An apartment.
So actually, not because I'm sitting here, but I think that CPS and Fumba is actually a remarkable development. I think the vision of that is actually unique across East Africa and in most parts of Africa, and actually globally. So I think your whole philosophy with regards to that's amazing. I know for a fact in the last 7 years, also working with other areas around Fumba, all of the work that they've been looking at in a sustainable development way with regards to water, harvesting, permaculture, and general environment is amazing. And all of that with the community as a critical part of it. So as we would say in France, chapeau, hongera sana, I think that it's an amazing development. So onwards and upwards, I seriously think.
So endorsed, support there.
Thank you, yes.
Dr. Fred, we're hearing about growing tourism. We also have a growing population in the country, and we have critical housing issues. I'm wondering whether this growing tourism could also hinder some of those critical housing issues that we have in the country. I'm wondering what your views are on that, how Utumishi might be contributing to some of those housing issues, particularly at the bottom of the pyramid, but also how developers like CPS might be contributing as well.
Thank you very much. The issue regarding population growth versus the availability of housing, this has been there for quite some time. And as we speak, for example, based on the recent census which was conducted last year, at 60 million people, we have a deficit of 3 million people. Dar es Salaam alone, 1.2 housing units. The rest upcountry, and this deficit growing at 200,000 units annually. This is a very big gap when you look at it in terms of the amount of work that needs to be done to close the gap. Apart from the deficit itself, there has been another issue which is even more critical, is the issue of housing affordability, where we are seeing that a bigger population cannot afford the house prices which are currently in the market. These two things, the housing gap plus the housing affordability, have been issues which are at the forefront, both in the government corridors as well as among developers. So developers have been working very hard to address the housing gap in terms of designing housing units which are in line with the disposable income of the population, at the same time trying to match the housing gap which is already there. So what are we expecting in future? With the growth of tourism, we are seeing the increase in disposable income, and therefore the increase in ability or the rate or the capacity of people to buy homes will slowly be coming up, which means that will increase the housing supply, because some of the units, as we speak, cannot be delivered in the market because they cannot just be delivered at the prices which people can be able to buy. So this is to the housing developers, this is good news, because when the demand increases, we are expecting more supply to go in line with the economic principles that when the demand increases, there will be more supplies. At the same time, the increase in disposable income coming from increase in tourism activity will mean more vibrance in the real estate market, and therefore developers being able to contribute more in terms of bridging the gap, which is now compounding into a very big problem countrywide. So I would say that much as we may not be moving faster in the same way tourism is growing, but we are aligning ourselves to catch up with the new trends and the new demands of the population, as well as the new product attributes. Because when you talk of tourism, then you bring new trends in terms of the product specification, the quality aspects, and even other components which are part and parcel of the housing. So we are seeing the improvement even in the quality of homes that will be supplied. CPS is doing a very good job in Zanzibar. Other developers are also looking at what CPS is doing. It is straightforward that CPS is raising standards in terms of how the quality of homes should be, and therefore to compete in the market, standards will be going up, and when we get to that level, then it is a benefit to everybody in the supply chain. Customers will benefit, developers will benefit, the government will also get its cake, and the economy will also benefit due to the contribution of the sectors which are involved in the housing as well as tourism in the broader economic spectrum.
Thank you, Dr. Fred, for touching on affordability as well, a really critical issue. I'm looking into the audience and I'm seeing that we need to transition to my favorite part of the panel discussion, which is where we take some questions from the audience. Before we do that, can I just ask you to jump 3 times right where you are? Let's go together. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Don't spill your gin and tonic. Can we do that a bit better, please? Let's go. 1, 2, 3. Okay, just to move. I know you've been standing a long time. Does anyone have a question in the audience? I believe there is a microphone that will come round. Please raise your hand. You're going to take my mic. Please introduce yourself and let us know who you'd like to address the question to. Abdul, Sebastian, Dr. Fred, and Graham.
Questions, anybody? Questions? Don't be shy, guys. This is the opportunity.
Hello, I'm Prasad from Zero Carbon Housing. Not much of a question, more of a remark. I think you've made it very clear that the market is very young, very immature, which is actually a good opportunity from a business perspective for anyone who's willing to enter the market. From an affordability perspective, that's a new segment, as you mentioned. We pretty much used to high-end properties. Middle income is coming up as well. And as you mentioned as well, the eco-friendliness of new buildings, sustainable housing using new materials as well. And that is actually a very good investment opportunities for foreign capital. As you know, a lot of these foreign investors are listed in foreign stock exchange. They have ESG requirements to comply with, and that is definitely a criteria that you can integrate into your design and development, future development. So that was just a remark. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
My name is Messi, and I'm addressing this to Sebastian. Now, Sebastian, let me ask you, because I know CPS for a long time, yeah? So when you started in Zanzibar, I remember I told Lucy that you guys are concentrating more in Zanzibar and not Dar es Salaam. I really don't know why. Now you've moved to Oman.
Well, thank you for that. That gives me the chance to remove those rumors, right? We haven't moved to Oman. We are committed to Tanzania and Zanzibar, 100%. No, Oman is, of course, or the Middle East is, of course, an interesting market. And as you know, many people in Oman are actually born in Zanzibar, right? So there is a connection there, Mercy. But we have not moved to Oman, right? We are strengthening our position here in Dar es Salaam, also with this new office. And you know why? It comes back to what I said before. We want to make sure that every Tanzanian knows about the opportunities we have in Zanzibar today and, Mercy, upcoming projects of us in Tanzania, right? So Tanzania is a huge market, like Fred was saying, Dr. Fred. Yeah, there's a huge market, huge demand for housing. We are working very hard on making houses extremely affordable. We're working very hard with the banks, CRDB and others, to create payment plans that people can afford, because we know that a lot of people, unfortunately, that want to or need a house are not eligible to mortgage yet. So the prices have to come down, we have to be more accessible. And we opened this office here today, and thank you all for coming. Yes, a big applause to all of you. To make sure that all of you can come, ask questions, we can enter the discussion, how best you, with what you have, what is affordable, what is doable for you, can get an opportunity of investing today. And what we're launching later today is so amazing, right? It's so amazing that really we are happy that you all came so we can show you directly, because this combines appreciation of residential properties in fast-growing cities like Zanzibar, Fumba Town, and tourism. So you catch the return from both sectors. You catch the security from both sectors, right? So this, what my team is going to launch, what the CPS team is going to launch later today, is the opportunity of, and we try to accommodate a few things like payment plans and so on, to make it more accessible to many, right? So it's really that, giving an opportunity to invest in Zanzibar today. And that's why we want to make sure all Tanzanians, and as we know, most of them, many live in Dar es Salaam, know about this. Thank you, Mercy, for the question.
Mic check. Thank you, Sebastian, for that informative answer. Any more questions? Guys, this is the time. It's an opportunity. Any more questions? Be out of questions.
Yes.
Thank you very much. If there are questions after, we're still going to network and mingle. So just to kind of close down our panel, I'm going to give each of you a minute just to summarize. What's a key takeaway for the audience today with regards to real estate investment in Zanzibar? Abdul.
Thanks, Miranda. So any investment is about timing. I think if you had come 3-4 years ago, if you had spoken about real estate investment, I think we'll all agree probably the timing wasn't right. So from a financial advisory perspective, whenever we are to advise our clients when it comes to investment, we ask two questions. What are your investment objectives? And we also look at the timing. If you look at the timing right now for real estate investment in Tanzania in general, is actually great. The question I think anybody needs to ask themselves is, what are the investment objectives? Is it short term? Is it long term? Is it capital protection? Is it more like you want to invest today so that you can actually access your financing in a year or 2 years? So if it's long term, real estate is the timing right now. As mentioned earlier, the financing request that we're actually getting right now in a place like Zanzibar is actually literally ridiculous. Like, we cannot handle those requests. The market actually in Tanzania, the banking industry is actually struggling to meet the financing requests that are there for Zanzibar, because you've actually, every investor that is coming into Zanzibar, including local investors, are looking to develop. The messaging you get there is they're seeing opportunity. They want to build now, so either they can sell, either they can rent, or just have a hotel, a restaurant, whatever it is in the same industry. So I think for Miranda, for anybody who's looking to invest, it's about timing. 4 years ago, probably, you'd have said, not just now, but for right now, when it comes to real estate investment, there's something definitely to look at. So that's the one messaging that I'd like to leave for the audience. Thanks, Miranda.
Thank you. Sebastian, I know we're going to hear from you again later, so just for a minute, key takeaway.
Yes, what can I say? First of all, thank you to the panelists coming today. Thank you all for supporting this. We all have the same passion about real estate and developing the economy of Tanzania and Zanzibar. That's why we are here. We believe that housing can contribute heavily to the development of the country in general. Of course, tourism does as well. We want to do that together with our Tanzanians, mostly diaspora also coming in, other people coming into the market. There is massive opportunity here. We are still a very young market. We're going to see a lot of growth over the next years. And as Abdul said, the time to invest in real estate is now. Don't wait longer. It is now. Some of you have done that already, and they have appreciated it heavily. So the time to invest is now. We are here. There's many others here. Watumishi Housing is there. We have the financial advisors, they're here. The tourism experts are here. The banks are here. You're a little bit also representing a bank. Banks are here. So the environment, the business environment is fantastic. And the market is there. We need 56 million homes in Africa now. We need more than 3 million homes in Tanzania now. And that is without the growth that is already there. So there's two things which are no-brainers, and I'm finishing there. Investing in housing in a market that is growing so fast, and investing in food, because people need to live and they need to eat. And there's no question about it. So investing in real estate, investing in food, in agriculture are absolute no-brainers. We are representing the housing sector, so this is one of them. You can't go wrong. Definitely not in Tanzania, and definitely not in Zanzibar.
Thank you for the inspiration, Sebastian. Dr. Fred, final words.
Thank you very much, Miranda. My final word is, much as we can't prescribe, or developers cannot say what are they earning when they sell a home or any real estate product to you, putting myself in your shoes, I would advise that in real estate, in whatever property that you invest, if that property can give you at least 1% of what you have invested in a month, that is the recommended rate of return to start with. So if we look at Zanzibar, Zanzibar is giving you more than that. And even the Dar es Salaam market is giving you the same, which means this being a young market, it is the market where people can make money, because properties are highly undervalued. If you look at land in Zanzibar, comparing with similar places, that land is highly undervalued. So the moment you buy land in that place, you get a capital gain instantly by just entering in that transaction. So we have a baseline rate of return of 1% per month. Anything you get over and above that, it means you are getting more, and therefore that should be an incentive for you to make a decision and go into that market. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Fred. And Graham, last but not least, final word.
Yes, thank you, Miranda. So we've heard about the incredible growth and how well Zanzibar's doing, et cetera, how strong the market is. Again, I would like to add, however, Zanzibar is still underperforming a Mauritius. It's still underperforming a Seychelles. It's still underperforming many other destinations, in fact. So I say that positively, not negatively, because for the very first time, we're actually using the private sector in a much stronger collaborative way, working with government to start to fix many of the issues which go to support growth in real estate and tourism, which I think are intrinsically linked. So what you hear now as that's beneficial, that's happening, I think is just literally a tip of that small iceberg. I think we believe in the next 10 years, it's going to be exponential growth. So we're looking at yields coming in with a higher customer base than has ever been seen. That would be certainly closer to where Mauritius is. And we believe that's doable because the fundamental assets of not only Zanzibar, but the wildlife of Tanzania, all the 120 plus tribes, all the cultures and heritages, the logistically location of this wonderful union of nations, geographically north, south, east, and west, gives the potential for Tanzania and certainly Zanzibar to, in my mind, be one of the strongest countries in Africa. So this is definitely moving in the right direction, and I think it is going to happen. So from a purchasing real estate perspective, if I had any money, I'd invest in them. Unfortunately, I don't. I talk too much. But thank you.
Thank you very much to my panelists. I've learned a lot today. Have you? 3 key takeaways. If you didn't hear anything else, you should leave here knowing Zanzibar is hot right now. Let's invest at home. Let's holiday at home. Number 2, financing is available. Talk to your financial advisor. Talk to your bank. Talk to the CPS team. They can point you in the right direction. And number 3, I think the most important one, the time is? The time is? Asanteni. Thank you, Abdul, Sebastian, Dr. Fred. Graham, a round of applause for our panelists this evening.
Thank you very much.
Handing back to you, CPS team. Asanteni sana.
Thank you, Miranda.
I love your detail. You always have the stats on point. I think Sebastian on the stage, wanaendelea na speech yake. You're going on,
Can we put that down and I'll take your hand? Thank you very much. Great.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much. Joel. Okay, wow. That was a very exciting panel discussion. Thank you so much again also from my side to all the panelists. Miranda, thank you for moderating. I was surprised to see when Miranda asked of how many of you have actually been in Fumba, how little hands went up. That made it much more important of what I'm going to show you right now. So yes, we have something very special still coming for you. Very excited about that. But before we head there, I want to quickly explain to you again who we are actually. Yeah? Who is CPS? What are we doing in Zanzibar? Wait, I had a clicker. Aha. Let's see if that works, Joel. I don't think so. It is on, but there's no light. The light goes off. Okay, if there's no clicker, then I just tell you to click. Yeah? Joel. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. Okay, let's try this. Perfect. So, CPS, we are a private developer. We're actually a family business, originally from Germany, but we very much feel Tanzanian. Sebastian and I grew up in Tanzania, and we live now since quite a number of years in Zanzibar. Our mission is to really create homes and communities which are strong, safe, sustainable, and accessible to all. So that is really what drives us as a family. That is what drives the entire organization of CPS, is not building houses, is actually building communities and homes for the Tanzanian population, for the strong growing middle class. We heard that. And that in a most safe way. Safe not only in the sense of actual security and security systems, but actually it's also in the sense of having a safe investment with us. So really investing in a place where your money is safe and it's not becoming less, but actually more. Sustainability, you've heard that before, is a very big topic for us as well. We actually consider green as a currency. So everything we do, we think about our environment. We have our infrastructure is based on permaculture principles. We are working with timber technology in construction, which is actually a very environmental friendly construction method, but also sustainable in a way that it is economically sustainable. We are looking into all the foreign direct investment, all the foreigners who are buying with us. We're trying to really keep most of that money in the country, not sending it outside to China and wherever, to really buy as much as possible in the country, to work with local companies, to empower the communities around us. So that is a very important point. And especially Dr. Fred was talking about this earlier, a big vision for us is to make it accessible to most people in Tanzania who can then actually afford a property and create wealth from that. So, it's not working again. Now, back. Yes, now. This is how Fumba looked like, 2015. We had actually just 2 show houses there. The rest of it was bush all around. And we started a journey which was for many people sounded quite crazy. We were the first off-plan development in Zanzibar. So people had to really trust us. Are these Germans really gonna make it? I'm giving them my money and only then they're starting construction. That was not very, well, it was not, people were not very used to it, especially in Zanzibar and Tanzania. But we actually found that many people did trust us. And because of those many people and those clients who we value up to now and who are with us up to now, who have gone through also difficult times and during Corona with us, Fumba actually looks like this now. So 8 years later, we have handed over nearly 600 homes already. 500 to 600 homes are under construction. We have many residents already living in Fumba. We have business settling, new people moving in daily. So it's a very exciting and vibrant town already. And yes, life is really happening there, and it's not just a construction site anymore. It's actually really a town and a community coming together. When we started Fumba Town, it was actually the first project where foreigners could buy property in Zanzibar. So we were really writing history, and this picture, what you see here, is from the first handover where former President Shane was handing over the first house and title deed to a foreign couple from the UK with a 99-year lease title. And this really was a historic moment for Zanzibar. The government is very progressive when it comes to opening up for foreign investment, inviting foreign investment, making it as safe and as secure as possible for foreigners to invest in Zanzibar. Just recently, they have also announced more incentives for foreign investors who are buying into property in special projects. They can get residencies. So there's really, we've been blessed by full government support for what we're doing there, and we're very, very grateful for that. Without, as said in the beginning, without the many clients, but also without the very progressive and forward-thinking government of Zanzibar, this would have not been possible. Last year, we marked a milestone of 1,000 homes sold in Fumba Town. I think this number today is actually, I didn't check this morning again, but it's already 1,200 by now. But that was really a massive milestone for us. I don't know if there was any private developer who has managed that before. Definitely not in Zanzibar here. Maybe Watumishi Housing here in Tanzania, right? So yes, a huge milestone for us with people coming from all around the world. We have nearly 60 nations who have invested in Fumba Town, a very vibrant and diverse community coming up. And last year, okay, I'm moving now a little bit away from Fumba Town, we also launched a new landmark for Zanzibar, the tallest timber tower in the world. This will be built in Fumba Town, but is a separate landmark for really the entire region, yeah? Built with cutting-edge green and responsible technology on 28 floors, nearly 100 meters high, with beautiful private gardens on elevated floors and amenities for residents, fully serviced and secured. This is really a landmark which is coming up in Zanzibar for this region, and with starting prices at only 79,000 US dollars. So beside Fumba and Burj, we have another very successful project on the east coast of Zanzibar, the Soul. We officially started selling in 2019. It sold out last year, extremely successful. This was the first condominium project in Zanzibar, meaning under the Condominium Act. So it is really trailblazing for Zanzibar and the entire development of real estate, because after that many more projects came up, and just also recently last year's, where anywhere in the island, if it's approved under condominium, developers can develop and sell condos to foreigners. The Soul being the first one in Zanzibar, a residential resort, so really holiday apartments in Paje, one of the hotspots for tourism in Zanzibar, and also marking the first multi-story timber buildings built ever in East Africa. Yeah, we did that in the Soul. And yeah, so the first phase is completed. 6 houses with, I don't know, over 100 apartments handed over. The rest will be complete by early next year. And yes, an extremely successful project in Zanzibar. So, the moment you've been waiting for has come, and I can step out of this very bright light. How do I press? Okay. So, welcome to this launch this evening. Karibu sana.
2019, the first condominium project in Zanzibar is born, the Soul Paje. 200 beautifully designed apartments, lush tropical gardens, and incredible prices. A dream come true. Built with cutting-edge timber technology, for a sustainable and healthy future. Owning a holiday home in Zanzibar had never been easier, and the first phase of the project sold out in record time. A truly pioneering project, a landmark for Zanzibar and the entire region. And now, we are writing the next chapter. An awesome location with an awesome community. Awesome sunsets. Awesome views. Awesome all around. Reserve your awesome soul apartment in Fumba today.
Hi, yeah, that's the soul food. For me personally, a combination of both two worlds. Really amazing to be able to hear from the panel today. Just maybe a quick overview. This is what we have as a Soul Fumba right now. And the soul, personally for me, I remember when we started off that idea of creating the first residential resort in Zanzibar and now having it as one of the most successful projects. I'm personally sad that we sold it off, but I was more excited when we decided to combine these two worlds, having a vibrant city, communities, and then also being able to invest something that has a touristic appeal. That is where that is what the soul offers for us, yeah? Beautiful architecture we've had. For example, you've heard about the sustainability that we've been going with towards actually being able to develop homes that also have a feel that is unlike any other. And that is what Soul had. And so now we've redesigned them, we've revamped them up, pumped them up with more excitement, and now pushed them into Fumba. And one of the questions that most people are asking is, why did we decide to actually now take this really amazing project and bring it into Fumba? Is combining these two worlds, we realized was actually a non-brainer. And one of that was the fact that we have a beautiful coastline in Fumba, very close to the airport. We are literally about like maybe 15, 20 minutes south of the airport. And even on top of that, being even more closer to actually the heritage town of Stone Town. We've heard from Sebastian that actually right now, Zanzibar is in the breaking point of actually revamping all these old heritage sites to actually even push even further into the tourism market. Yeah, perfect timing. Well, that wasn't planned. And you've had the numbers from Tobias. We've already sold more than 1,200 homes as of right now. We have a very avid community. I personally live there. A lot of us actually mostly live there. And we've seen this community grow from having one person living on town and to seeing the demand on housing. I have recently had to increase our rental team to actually be able to cater for the incoming people that are actually asking for rentals. And business is booming. Yeah? We've had now the first commercial center sell out in terms of rentals within a span of less than 2 months. Oh, that's a bit too much now. I know. And another big attribute that we've now gotten into now bringing in the soul is the sunsets. You now have this opportunity to actually, because the soul is actually at the east coast of Zanzibar. You get the sunrise. I know most of us, when you're in Zanzibar, you're not very fond of waking up very early in the morning. But bringing it to Fumba now, if you're an avid sunset chaser, then definitely this is one of those locations that you want to get into. And on top of that, we have even now, we have, as I mentioned, a very vibrant community. We've got security services, one of the most secure spaces that I could definitely say. Most of us forget actually to even lock our cars and homes. We have a very beautiful and very dedicated team who are running a clinic within the town. So we already have all these health services available to us. We've had now, for example, the second bar that has opened up within the town, beautiful sunsets. We saw during World Cup how packed this place was. And even our monthly farmers market, which is attracting people from as far as Arusha to come and sell their wares there. And one of the things, despite, oh, that's kind of loud. One of the things, oh, they're done. Okay, thank you. And as I mentioned, personally, I'm a sunset chaser. Yeah. I can't speak and you celebrate me all the time. But as a sunset chaser, we have definitely combined these two worlds in a very dynamic way. Having those views from, for example, the penthouses overlooking the pools, the lagoon, and going all the way towards the west of the island. And now on top of that, I know for a lot of clients who invested in the Soul, one of the things they kept asking us is, what I get in Fumba, I want to also get that in the Soul. This is the opportunity. We have residencies now. Finally, this is something that it has been in the pipeline for very long with the government to be able to provide residency for homeowners. You've heard how the numbers are. Very many different nations are brought into the country, into the developments. And now even on top of that, not just allowing foreigners to 100% own within the property, but also having, for example, exemptions on repatriation of funds and 50% off on your capital gains. These are some of the incentives that are now coming into Seoul. That's what I was saying. It's a combination of two worlds, a combination of both a vibrant city, community, and now on top of that, adding in all this beauty and sweetness that we hear from the tourism market. So that's just what I wanted to definitely leave you all with, to be able to just understand in detail. My team is out there. I know after this, they're really eager. I know some of them already spilled the beans, but I know they're very eager to also engage with you and even tell you more about the spaces that we have available. Thank you. We have one more thing. Actually, the first announcement today was the property itself. But I want to let Fatma be able to give you one of the other biggest announcements that we've been working on for quite a while. Fatma. Karibu sana.
Hi everyone, my name is Fatma Musa, and I am sales director in Fumba Town in CPS. We have awesome payment plans, but before I dive into the payment plan, I would like to tell you what you are buying into. When we talk about Fumba, and I can challenge anyone in here, it is the only project that goes with sustainability. I can challenge anyone. There's no project in Africa that has touched sustainability part as we are in Fumba. We know there's green in environment, green in health services, but what I'm going to tell you, if you haven't noticed now, green is also about currency. Green is currency. In Fumba, it's not only about the buildings that you see. I know any developers, they have huge, beautiful buildings and all that. But Fumba, it's about the environment. It's about your health. It's about where you are living. It's about what you do to the environment. And this is where you should invest. Because believe me, in 10 years from now, if you are not environmental conscious, you'll be guilty about the environment. You'll be guilty about how you handle the global, Tanzania, but also our small island in Zanzibar. So advocating you to come and buy and invest in Fumba. Don't only see the buildings. We want you to go further and see the environment. what we have in Fumba, we are at the moment going along with the UN terms, and very soon we are going to be coined with UN as a sustainable community living. That is where we are going. And our what we are envisioning, we will be above the UN standards of sustainability in our community. Okay, let's go about the payment plans. For the first time, and we are doing it here in Dar, for the first time, we have a long payment plan of up to 5 years for the first time. I know I have some of my clients here, they'll come to me later and maybe punch me a little bit, but everything has its beginning. So for the first time, we have a 5 years payment plan. With 15% down payment, you will pay $1,273 per month, which means your unit will be delivered before the 5 years. Between 3 to 5 years, the unit will be ready. That means you will get 2 years or 1 year of rent to own. You are getting your rent while you are paying to us. So you have 1 or 2 years of rent to own. This is for the first time. Most of our payment plans has been 3 years with 5 to 6 installments. But this is so different. 5 years, monthly payment plan. It feels like a lipstick. For those who can pay within 2 years, they have 20% discount. For those who can pay within 2 years, in other words, within 24 months, because the 5 years is 60 months payment plan. But if you can put your finances together and pay within 2 years, the 24 months, you immediately get 20% discount, yeah? And you pay the 15% at down payment, and the rest of the amount, you spread them in 24 months, and you also pay monthly. Again, we deliver your unit within 3 to 4 years. And the price will start at $2,546 US. Huh? I go back? We also have tonight, we have a fantastic offer of 5% discount. So the person who wants to buy for the 24 months payment plan, he has a 20% plus 5%. And for any other unit that you feel you want to invest on tonight, you have a 5% discount. Our offices are open. We have our beautiful, small, cozy office here. This office is going to be open Monday to Sunday, religious holidays, government holidays, birthday holidays, from 10 to 7 at night. This is because we know investing in properties, it needs sometimes, most of the times, it needs family decision. What time do families get together? Mostly is after office hours, during weekends, during holidays, yeah? Or after office work hours, after 5. We are open, we are here. Please come, ask any questions. You can come and do your payments here, sign reservation here, get offers and discounts from me here. The only thing that you cannot do here is the physical site visit in Fumba. But the virtual reality, you can also give your site visit with the virtual reality. So from tomorrow, our offices are going to be open from 10 to 7. The 5% discount offer lasts on Sunday. It's only for this weekend. Open today, it just opened, and it will last until Sunday, this weekend. Sunday from 7, 10. If you can send your reservation even 10 at night, we'll give you a discount, no problem. Our sales agents are around. They are here. They'll be here tomorrow. They work almost, we have also shifts, 24 hours we work, because we have to serve people in America, people in Tanzania, people I don't know from where, Ukraine also we serve. So anytime you can ask them, they can answer you. You want to meet them, we have an office here. We have an office at Benz Avenue, address building. Of course, we have an office in Zanzibar, and we have an office in Nairobi. One thing I'd like to add, we have financial institutions which can support you. The banks with mortgage. We have NBC. We have CRDB. We have Azania Bank. We have First Housing also. We have APSA, for mortgage up to 25 years. And Mr. Emmanuel, I know he's the chairman of Tanzania Diaspora. The good thing with diaspora, even if you are a Tanzania, but now you have a foreign passport, either in Germany or Italy, in Oman, you can open accounts in our Tanzania banks. BOT is okay with that. But the most good news, with Azania Bank, you can also get a mortgage. With your foreign passport, as long as you are a Tanzania, which they will know by with your foreign passport, where are you born? I'm born in Tanzania. Come open account, come take a mortgage from 8 to 25 years. And if you are retired, they still have an insurance of up to 70 years. So that is good news. We hope most of you and all of you will be investing in us. And one thing you should also understand, it's not only what we are telling you. You still have a room to discuss, what's your financial situation, so that we can advise you more on investment. We have the best ROI at the moment in Tanzania. And I can challenge anyone. We have the best ROI at the moment in Tanzania. We are the fast selling real estate. Mr. Msemwa, sorry, but I'm talking about private, Yeah. We are the fast selling real estate in Tanzania at the moment. I don't know what you're waiting for, but this is the time. Vikoba people, karibuni sana. You can even invest with us. It's not only, and by the way, remember, Fumba Town will be building 5,000 houses, meaning we will have around 20,000 people residing in Fumba. Do you know what business you can bring in Fumba? Think about it, come and discuss karibu sana, and open businesses also there. Buy houses, open businesses. Let's discuss, because if you want to really improve the real estate, it's not only about developers, it's also about other stakeholders. Let's drive our economy through real estate. I'm talking too much,
Thank you. Farah, let me very quickly add.
Yes.
I know she's very excited about this product. We all are very excited about this product, about the payment plan, about the special discounts. And I'm telling you, I had the chance to walk around before Kidogo here, right? Meeting several people. And especially if you are from Zanzibar, Abdul, right?
Are you from Zanzibar, Pemba? Unguja.
Don't say that. So you have to, because we are streaming live at the moment, right? So our clients in New York, in Washington, in Berlin, in London, in Muscat, they're seeing this. We want you here to grasp this opportunity and get one of these units, and do get them quickly. Lock yourself a unit in with our sales team today, because I am not sure, and I'm honestly not sure with this product, because here you're profiting from the tourism sector, the first residential resort coming to one of the fastest growing urban communities, towns. You don't have this anywhere else. right? You have either tourism or residential. Now you have the combination out of both. You're going to profit from both returns. Security of investment, long-term appreciation, and now with these payment plans and the special discounts, get a unit now. I can't promise you that we have units available end of next week. So please lock in some of your units. There's beautiful units, there's beautiful penthouses. I think you're going to talk shortly about that. Get a unit for yourself. Don't miss that opportunity, right? I have said it. I just want to make sure I said that. Because if you come next week and we have nothing, don't tell me that I didn't tell you that. Get your unit today, okay? Thank you.
Okay, also, Sebastian, I have a question. I got a question from one of the good people here. Maybe he's already left or anything. He said there was one time that he wanted to come to invest, but then he was told, in fact, by some of the authorities in mainland that a person from mainland cannot buy a property in Zanzibar. Is that true?
Yes, I mean, it used to be true, right? Tanzanians, mainland Tanzanians, are considered as a foreigner when it comes to land. Yes? So that is changing. So we changed that in Fumba. We changed that with the Condominium Act. Anybody, especially Tanzanians, are welcome to buy and own property in Zanzibar as of now. And you're fully safe, protected by the law, protected by investment acts. You saw the president, the former president, in that picture Tobias showed, handing over a title deed to a couple that were born and raised in Tanga, but have a UK passport because they were working in London for 40 years. They got their title deed from the president himself to say to the world, everybody can invest. And of course, especially Tanzanians. And we invite the Tanzanians to take this opportunity. Get your property in Zanzibar now, right? You heard it before, the growth is exponential. It's going to be more and more expensive. This is the opportunity to get your property in Zanzibar.
As I said, again, we have awesome prices. Imagine getting your 2-bedroom penthouse, having an ocean view, starting from 3,879 USD per month. You get your penthouse. After 3 years, you can be able to rent that penthouse. And believe me, at the moment, renting that penthouse will cost around $3,500 to $4,000 a month, renting that penthouse. So these are our prices. The 3-bedroom, starting from $2,773 US a month. Our 2-bedroom duplex starts at $2,585 USD per month. Our 2-bedroom, starting from $1,910, and our 1-bedroom starts from $1,273 per month. Karibuni sana, karibuni Zanzibar, karibuni Fumba Town, karibuni the soul in Fumba.
My name is Janet Armitage Smith, and I'm married to Martin. We have 3 children. I'm from London. We met in Mombasa, Kenya 33 years ago. So we raised our children in London, and at some point Martin and I decided that it would be the most amazing thing to find a home where we felt complete and where our souls felt at home. So we came to Zanzibar. We came to visit Seoul. It was completely empty, and we walked around, but my husband said, I just feel like my soul is settled here. I feel at peace here, and I feel we'll be happy here, and that's where our journey began. Martin said, the only place I want is where there's grass, where I can just walk on the grass and just make sure that it's where we both feel we are on the ground. And this is where I am now, on the ground floor, and definitely where my soul is happy.
Hello, I'm Thomas Just. I'm the managing director of Volkshaus. I'm working now with Volkshaus since 7 years in Zanzibar, East Africa. The past 7 years we grow up and established Volkshaus as the biggest timber house company in East Africa with now 120 employees, and we are specialized in manufacturing, assembling and finishing timber houses up to turnkey. With timber houses we are using innovative technology and materials, and it's really fascinating to see how we can build with those technology more affordable, economic friendly, sustainable homes, and also at the same time we can improve the quality and the speed on construction. In the past, we took the opportunity to build with the first CLT materials in East Africa. We took it to the project in Seoul, Paje, and it was really a unique experience for us because it was amazing to see how fast and efficient we could assemble those panels together on site.
So the journey to Seoul has been amazing. The staff members have been working with us. They always made sure we were here whenever we wanted to be. Kevin made sure there was transport. And when they handed over, even though I wasn't here physically, the handover time, when I did come in 2022, I still found my champagne ready waiting for me, and I was welcomed back here, and everything was handed over to me smoothly. The key was there, and the fruits were still fresh, even though it was like a few months later. I'm sure they did get another bunch of fresh fruits, but it was amazing. Every detail I needed to know was explained to me. Anything that wasn't right was corrected before I left to go to be with the children, and I have been happy since. So I'm here and I'm enjoying every moment of it. Seoul Paje here has a community feel. When you're here, you just feel you're at home. And I think if they carry this soul feeling, this community feeling to Fumba, it will be of great benefit to anyone who is there. You always want to feel a part of the community, and with Seoul here, we are always a part of the community. You feel you're known and you know everybody, and you're never alone. And I think taking Seoul there will bring that feeling to whoever comes, wherever they come from, whoever they are. I'm sure they will just feel part of the soul.
My name is Sebastian. I'm the CEO of CPS. Today I'm greeting you from beautiful Fumba town. People are asking me, why are you bringing the soul to Fumba town? And why should I invest in the soul here in Fumba town? It's quite easy. Because with the soul coming to Fumba town, you can get the best of both worlds. You can own a beautiful designed home with which most of them have this stunning sea view I have here right now. And you can relax, you can feel the relaxing vibes of Zanzibar lying next to the lagoon-like pool while having this vibrant and fast urban growing community of Fumba town right next to you. This is special and this is truly unique. This is the best guarantor for long-term, secure and safe returns of investment. You profit from the long-term appreciation of fast-growing towns and cities we see around the world. At the same time, you can earn from the fast-growing tourism sector here in Zanzibar. The soul in Fumba town is the best investment in terms of safety and resilience you can make. You earn from both markets, from both worlds, from fast-growing cities, at the same time from tourism sector here in Zanzibar. To make this investment possible for many of you living around the world, dreaming of your own place in Africa, your home in Zanzibar, we created a very special payment plan. With a down payment of only 15% and then monthly equal installments of up to 5 years, you can purchase a home here at the Soul in Fumba town and make your dream of your place in Africa, your place in Zanzibar, your home in Fumba town come true. Do contact us and we'll make sure your dream of your home, your place in Africa, your home in Zanzibar, your beautiful apartment at the Soul in Fumba town, a strong, safe and secure investment becomes reality.
Thank you, everyone. Well, that's the end. I know we've all had a very long night. I just want to, first of all, thank you all for coming, being with us during this launch. I want to thank the panelists who are here. But on top of all this goodness that is around, I just want to urge you, stay with us, be with us through the night. My team is out there. ready to engage you guys, ready to get you into those 5% discounts and all. This is the most discounts we've ever offered. And for those who maybe didn't get the opportunity to actually, Sebastian, really come back on board?
I am very serious. I'm signing the second penthouse just now. Right? You better be quick. You better be quick. That there's no penthouses tomorrow, guys. Right? So please be fast, sign up, and get it done. We're signing them here right now. I don't know what's happening with the team online at the same time, right? So this has happened right now, live during the event.
Yeah. So thank you. Have a good evening, and yeah, let's engage and welcome. And from now on, as you heard, the office is open from 10 till 7. We'll definitely maintain that. So even tomorrow, Sunday, feel free to come and join us and have a cup of tea of us some breakfast. Thank you so much. Have a good night.